plenty thank you to Una, the media, the partner for Una the carry we and make sure say people that they follow and they listen. The community radio station they across the country where they connect, SLBC, AYV, Slick, Star, all the blogging platforms that they can week in, week out. I want to thank you. I want to say thank you this week, particularly as well to the other partners and where they support we with the sector we discussed today. AfriCell, can help we, Orange, they support with internet, Zoom Labs, they support we as well, and then we other partner then Sierra Avatar and VSO, where they make sure say we are the most inclusive platform in the country. All with business and the ministry, we make sure we get sign language. This is something we're very proud of, and a part of President Bio's commitment and for ensure we really do radical inclusion across the government of Salon. We have a big conversation today. We get some of the top players there. I'm particularly pleased for welcome my sister. All man knows say I get favorites in the cabinet, and my favorites are the Minister of Communications, Technology and Innovation, because in a Minister Bar, in back Minister Bar. And I'm very proud of her. I'm delighted that today you do fantastic work at the ministry. The Honorable Sam Monamaba. We also get here big allegiance from different parts of the internet sector, the connectivity sector. The regulator there in the person of Mr. Abdul Benfode, we are the Director for Corporate and Industry Affairs, and the title running also. And representing Leocom, we get Mr. Almami Thomas Momodu, the Head of Operations and Maintenance. And then last but by no means the least, my other big brother as well, Mr. Mahmoud Idris, Executive Director for Zoom Labs. I'm glad you are all there. I can't give you the mic, give you a chance to ask the question. But before that, I'll go through very briefly the news updates. We are all for mark the 12th of August 2024. If you remember, we said the day yesterday, a historic day. The Republic of Salon presided over a very special session of the United Nations Security Council at New York. This session was witnessed by no less a person than the Secretary General himself, the head of the General Assembly, and other world leaders there, representing all the member states that we currently sit on the Security Council. Also, just the fact says Salon the day at the Security Council, that we are now president of the Security Council, but at the first gentleman of the states, lead a conversation for talk about the reform of the world in most important global peace and security institution. And that the first time in the history of the Security Council that a state tabled that kind of discussion. He called for justice, he called for righting historical and colonial wrongs, and making sure that Africa will get a full place at the Security Council. He advocated for reform of the Security Council and say Africa forgets a permanent seat. He called for them to set aside the veto. We don't invade the Security Council in work, but he said if you don't set aside that veto, it's only fair that Africa in the permanent position instead forget the rights to that veto today. Una and the fourth estates is not a term where they switch from being just a minister to appealing to Una now as patriots. And a big moment standing for our country, a moment of national pride, a moment to all for elevate, for tell we begin and say we country just 25 years ago, we've been there on the table of the Security Council for talk about conflicts, sanctions. Remember, we talk about all the bad things there. Now, the whole world, they commend we and they celebrate His Excellency the President for the remarkable work we do. So, we don't miss that moment. This month, like a month of national pride, and month to all for look up and be proud of the journey we will take collectively together. APC, SLP, PMC, NGC, all political parties. At that moment, they did not ask President Bills party color it gets. Sierra Leone, I mean, the world news and all the media that they carry yesterday at the world. So it's a great moment of pride. Last week, His Excellency the President may open Parliament. Maybe not say a call for unity. When I see you get bipartisan praise for not just in call for peace and unity, but also for we outline all the steps that we will not continue to take as a government for achieve the president's dream for deliver on his second term priorities. Just 1 year into it, all the achievements that we don't make, we at the Ministry of Information and Civic Education are very proud that he talk about the efforts that we will make for continue for bridge the gap between the people of Salone and the government for ensure open governance and also for make sure citizens can participate in the governance process. A few more quick updates. The Honorable Chief Minister Dr. David Senga be engaged stakeholders in Malane for resolve long-standing tensions in the Malane Chiefdom. This is local news. The Chief Minister bring comprehensively all the parties in together. We apparently get some challenges that they for renegotiate the SOCFIN contract agreement, and they assure them of government support in that process. There. Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs not issue a press release condemning the killing of protected leopard na Koinadugu. Apparently, picture them in the see one leopard na Koinadugu, some people who own and kill them. So this is a very bad thing. We call on the people of this country for saying their wildlife that they need for protecting. Because you don't talk a lot about the environment, or quantity, kill the animal, and they have all the responsibility. On about the president for helping for push this word, and the Ministry of Tourism really ask for that as well. NCIA, the National Civil Registration Authority, will join other member states in the sub-region for mark the 7th Africa Civil Registration and Vital Statistics Day. This day is seen for reflection, collaboration, and action for them we make sure say civil registration and vital statistics across Africa will include linkage and legal identity systems and through digitalization. I'm glad you will help me because we come back now to this conversation we get. All right. Now we come to the panelists that we get here. First, we don't take 1 year now our government. Since the very successful, and congratulations on the Ministerial, the very successful tech conference, the first of its kind, with the minister pull off, really magical, in the whole world council, you pull off that. People who want to know and while you start this press conference, but just give me an update. As the Minister of Communications, Technology and Innovation, new ministry, since you take on that portfolio day, this is an opportunity for you to just provide, let's say in 5 minutes. I don't say 5 minutes not good, you need 2 hours because I may know now within at the same floor, I know you are working a lot. But maybe say 5 to 7 minutes, an update on the progress and the achievement and let people know about President Bill in Big Five, this commitment, you the leader, waiting, you don't see so far as progress.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, for this. I also want to thank you for providing the platform for more spotlight the communication or the ICT sector in general in Salone today. But I also want to join you for really enforce on Fambul the significance of yesterday. Mary Bola just been talk. I said that in our moment with me definitely remember. We will tell the generation to come, say, even on a personal note, say, me and you too, we did this administration on this day, where His Excellency the President will put Salone on the map, because that's what it is. It may not advocate just for Salone, but advocate on the whole of Africa yesterday. So I think that's been a definitely a moment of pride we want to take on board. But specifically on this sector and 1 year into this new term of His Excellency the President administration. Since we end our tech summit at the start today, as you're also aware, in May or June, we hope the first ever international tech summit in Salon, where we will bring together the whole innovation community and ecosystem. Not just in Salon, but also invite big international players to attend, from the big private tech companies, the Google, the Amazon, the Meta, the Visa, the all media, and all the come and participate, and then maybe get very strategic meetings there. We also maybe showcase own innovators in our salon, because the president can always talk, say, he believes, say, the challenge they will face in our salon, we get the solution for that. Then I am the young people and they get solutions. So maybe we showcase their innovators, their everything they do. They will also see the Agriculture Innovation Challenge, where His Excellency the President insisted for shows in commitment, put money in their pockets, $30,000 for give to the Puerto Rican force, for maybe support them, for really invest in that idea. They will also see second market 20, the third person 10,000. Now then I could just show government in commitment for invest in their innovation there. But also, during this tech summit, His Excellency the President, oversee the launching of 3 big things. For example, we launched the 50 million digital transformation project, which is supported by the World Bank. This project here, so now for 3 things. One, now for support, we'll talk about the connectivity, how they expand, and even supporting NATCA. We all might talk about how NATCA they regulate and how they do their work. This project support. It also support digital skills training. That for we train, we say we will do more, and also they support digital transformation and then government digital services. Also, the president launched we see the launch of the Fele Tech City initiative, where will happen at Tikonko Chiefdom. Already we don't get support from African Development Bank for support some of that work, as well as private sector commitments, and we really look for investment in that place. Then also we launched Starlink. Now Salon became the 9th country in Africa to launch Starlink. So I think it's a really big accomplishment for we. But then outside of the tech summit, we'd also see within this one significant things that will happen. We also don't launch the National Fiber Backbone 2 project. We don't expand the fiber optic cable. Now 14 out of the 16 districts in Asalo. We also do work for see how we now close out that gap for which 16 out of 16. We also, through the Universal Access Development Fund, don't launch 9 rural telephone sites now and communities. And this really impacts us on all the communities that we talk, say they don't get the pole site for their connectivity. So with that, we also prioritize farming communities, because as you all know, His Excellency, the flagship of this administration of Salon. Yes, all man to one connectivity, and the aim to provide for all man, but at this moment we prioritize communities there. We have big farming communities there, because with all the other solutions that the government they do with the connectivity, we enable them more. We also don't launch the emergency internet bandwidth. I'm not able to cover the problem, at least for government, how government operates. One of the big 5 as well, now public sector reform, how they will make sure the government work better for now. One of the key tools that the government use for internet, if internet or the ministries, my brother will look press conference. So one of the things that we don't do now for provide emergency internet bandwidth now 50 public institutions for enable and support NCI work. Then also speaking about NCI, the other thing we would also don't accomplish is we don't get support from ECOWAS for do a data exchange layer. And why it's important, as now we get challenged. Boku, and these are just how technology they all man they run, all man they build, all man they do things. But the challenge we don't face, their system they don't really talk to themselves. You get one system inside the same ministry, because also the same person belong, they need to connect. So once you don't get support from ECOWAS now for build this data exchange layer, we will allow or let data there for interconnect. So we start off with NCRA through the partnership we don't get with them, for we will begin develop that with them. Also, quite recently, we don't close out we ICT skills training we do nationwide. We support from Huawei and Orange. We don't train over 3,200 picking them, as well as 500 entrepreneurs on cybersecurity and digital marketing skills. And they recently just called out to go to schools right across the districts and Salon. But then outside of that, there's also in a ministry, but for work na policies. You have to do policies, legislation for provide the ecosystem. So one of the big things that we don't launch the national broadband strategy. This really will enable we government with the private sector and we partners them for inform we how we increase penetration. Because the idea not of just go, you just go put pool all side. There has to be a strategy based on outside population day. Now so you go around how you want increase this penetration for maybe last man get on. So that's a strategy we work with all the partners that on we don't launch. We also don't launch the National Government Enterprise Architecture. Again, this goes to the digital transformation plan. We get standards in terms of how we build every solution there and then we platform there. So that I want to don't develop, we roll out how we work with, even yesterday, then we get a stakeholder conference, so we go my side for inform them about within the acceptable international best practice standards we can to digital government services and systems. We also work on an ICT user guide. For example, I say we don't do bandwidth to 50 institutions, but to be honest, some of the problems they will face now wastage of this bandwidth. For example, if somebody in our office, they don't use the internet for Netflix, you don't pay the price. You know that bandwidth they will super go towards something for do the work. So we get a policy we can to people away in our government waiting, for use the internet for. And this until the monitor and the control now going forward in terms of internet within government institutions, how they're supposed to be used. Also emails, conversations around the emails, conversations, around also using in government devices where we allocate to you, waiting, allowed for use that device there, and how we will monitor all of that in there. So and one will say we think government's wrapping up now. A lot of this we will say policy implementation is a big thing. So one of the things they will do, they establish standards and compliance units within this ministry. The ministry now, that units they establish systems using software, not just man, using software where they will monitor implementation of all of the policies that will roll out and ensure and enforce compliance. So these are some of nutshell some of the things that we believe safety. This one having a significant things that we will accomplish.
Well, we, the Chief Minister can say we will deliver. Some people think things in a joke, but you can see from all the different ways that with the Ministry of Communication, Technology and Innovation, whether now policy, whether on action, tangible investment and opportunities. Now for congratulate you. It's a lot. We'll try to make sure that this information will continue to put out. Some of this they inside the government in 1 year of the newsletter we don't put out. So people will see that the government will work for them. So thank you for that. Now I want to bring I'll come back to you, Madam Minister. The question of internet connectivity. You know, in the past, somebody will explain to me, say, internet have been luxury. I've been like, we, so tell you in our elite. If I was some officer, we didn't say internet can be common our use force. Go wait, say, the children's home days, we go sleep on na Mamiogo hotel. For wait for use internet. We go sleep late. So when the US staff, they don't go, the nets will get access to the computer there. But today, thanks to some of the things that we don't talk, internet na bread and butter. And with daily existence. If internet shut down now, everybody they complain also. Money, this, that, and all. So, Madam Minister, I want to let you give me briefly now the status of the sector. What's we do now? And then I know say you get to partner now where they represent the sector. We go for absolute last because we say then gets a big hole inside the sector. You come, one of the transports. So we for cancel and give it, and they will go to the regulator. The regulator tell me, okay, there are no toxin and this they do. What they don't do, what they do, how they represent we, the citizens. But for set the stage, we come back to the minister. From your perspective, as the leader of the sector, what's our day right now?
Thank you very much again. And I think Sawam also add to that by saying clearly His Excellency the President also he consider internet and mobile service now basic human rights now. Not to luxury the same way how we provide education, we provide healthcare services, we provide water, and the same way internet and mobile, all man for educators, no matter outside the day. So with that the goal, and now we benchmark who we work towards. Awangi in terms of USA we don't do significant as you mentioned, say before, we pass we go with. We don't see so now woman gets outside a day. And then do significant investments. We don't go into the network infrastructure. That may just happen by circumstance. Because significant intentional investments are going to the infrastructure, both by government and by the private sector. Not to just government, and these are all sides, not to just government, some will make investments. Government will make investments into the fiber infrastructure, but you see the telcos there with the pool lending. That is investment as well, they say they make into this community where we get. As we mentioned, we don't see the rollout of the landing of the subsea cable, ACE cable. We don't see the rollout of the fiber optic, the ECO1 cable, the national fiber backbone over the years. But then also significantly, what did happen for improve this space. Really, what I think is the game changer and the improvement of the governance structure. Before we get SALCA, we all know the problems then we will deal with that. And what the government do for separate the two functions we SALCA really do. We now we could get with two government partners then number one, we get Zood Labs. Zood Labs and then they manage the subsea cable, the ACE cable, where they come up from the water, can land and alone. Zood Labs gets a contract, a PPP contract with the government, that cable and government. But government going to partnership with Zood Labs for me they manage jam and commercialize for we share in that revenue. Then we also get Leoncom. Leoncom and then they manage the terrestrial fiber. The cable will come off Freeton, within Freeton then we go upline. That cable will cable connectivity upline. Again, that is a government infrastructure, but we enter into a partnership with Leoncom for me they will manage that on behalf of government and also expand the cable beyond what we give them. Then we get a completely private, so the company will a metro, and then they do the metropolitan terrestrial fiber optic cable. Then I've also lay out which we currently get because some people, I think some people get confused, who that waiting. But then now into the status of USAID, I think it's important for also, give facts and figures towards that day. We currently get, in terms of the population we covered by mobile network, we currently get 96.7% of the population currently get potential access to mobile connection. Mobile voice subscription, and the one that we get SIM card. We get SIM card of the population, we get that SIM card. They will are non-unique. We currently get around 5.4 million people we get SIM card, we get mobile SIM card. And to that the 2G coverage na 96 because no say the connectivity level they by the level they. So we get 2G of all the sites then 96% of the sites are 2G, 95%.
So that are 96 of the 96.
Yes, 96 of the 96. So only 96 so we are all 2G. So of that 96, 95.9% na 3G, then 87.7% na 4G. As you also know, we recently don't give licenses to telcos then for made a trial 5G, whether they will launch, and now this year some of all their sites and they will come back to 5G. And then the mobile data penetration, and then you know that people get Wi-Fi, we get the modem length of homes, the mobile, the amount of people that we get, and we did at 2.1 million. And that they actually an increase, 15% increase from last year. So we see how that they improve. I will also say, state honestly to say, the 5.4, we get internet, so we get mobile, that is a decrease from last year, but there's several factors we make that decrease. For example, as also I don't see the mobile linkages when you go on with NCRA and NATSCA for say all man for go link the mobile SIM card to UNIN. Obviously that they call some man do that day now one number you go register and you register to tell the balance so you get use for that thing. So these are some of the reasons we cannot go into that day. So while obviously to that we don't see say yes, progress has been made within the sector for mobile, but we also acknowledge say, you know, especially quite recently, so we all don't see some outages and some situations both to the C cable that in our ACE that's managed by Zulabs, and we don't see even regionally, we don't see outages in terms of the cable where they go and the provinces, both media out recently, where Leon Company managed. And without making excuses, I think say important for many people to understand why the situation may happen, and also more inform on what we do in the short term and in the long term for solve the problem. So on why the situation they happen, we come to the national outage. You know, Salona one grain subsea fiber cable we get winner ACE. And that ACE cable now connect Guinea, now connect Liberia, I think say Ghana, Nigeria, then several countries. This one to just stand. And because of this interconnection and how the cable routes and the type of thing we present and how the cable lay, you able to pass on a different road there. Because cable not in that the kind of cable, if it cuts, the service is out. Then I just so I didn't say do like understand I just cable. If it cuts, the service is out. So right now but we for lay them in different ways. So not just one cable no more. You lay in different ways. So in case one cut, you go jump on the other one. If any cut, you go jump on the other one. So we don't see, even before this one happened, a couple of months before, cable cuts, right will affect Boku country then. Boku country then go off. But because of how we, and kudos to Zulabs on Monday, because of how the routes and cable then, we country like Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Liberia may get out for a week. Where other countries then they out for longer. This that send the salon 45 minutes no more. We may be out for the come, we will jump for another connection immediately and it will reduce the outage. But recently, what happened, I believe in this way, I believe Zulabs will educate more. We get situation where the two, when the Portugal route, may they out for maintenance. The one who may out and a South Africa route, something happened in Liberia, not to Salon. Something happened in Liberia, the cable cuts the, obviously because of this interconnection I explained, the cable is jump. If one cut, we successfully affected, you know, to real problem. So we cut the, we were affected, and at least then we get for jump on and for see how then be able to resolve. And so that is just a situation on why the situation happened. On the terrestrial, again, the situation where you go see bow, sometimes then they say bow, you go to bow the out, you go to find the outside because you know either now two situations and they happen. Either the main escape will go off, if not to that situation, when I want sign on more time, say the cable where they take connection will go, something happens to them. And that cable they just sit down, something happen. Must be seen that situation. In that instance, is there somebody, I think there are two situations, either somebody intentionally cut them or somebody unintentionally cut them. In that situation they before, now unintentional, somebody they building house, they then put proper measures for go inform all which they're supposed to do, where you build house, you have a permit for make sure so we advise you on which side the cable and they, so you not cut them, somebody not do that and they, where then they build, as then they dig, they cut the cable. We cause the whole of boom for go out. So that is the situation where can happen where letting them you see them regional outages as well. And now I'm going to the solution.
All right.
Darling, for just not to excuse, but just my
Now
explain.
people understand.
No, understand. You know, I see because in there, I see people like, oh, now all that our fault. So I just want to understand. See, sometimes no, it is not. That because of that cable in orange they use, and as we said, and all the telco they use for provide service so that we are there. So if it cuts, not to them, but to explain what now we do for Ministry and NATCA don't engage. As this is a pressing emergency issue, NATCA don't convene an emergency committee will include all the sector stakeholders there, the government partners there, the telcos, the ISPs, who come together for see waiting for do in the short term and in the medium term solution. We need solution immediately. They are still at the third day, they just come on a meeting again. So they're all day together. The short term, they plan now for come up options, how they optimize the ACE cable will get. And now for more look into the routing options, how ACE cable lay, for see which other options then lay, for see how cable ensure say if one go off, other option will they will completely not go blackout. Then are waiting, then they can work on as of today, they're working on that for Mugana and immediate plan and the short term, not a long term business. And in the next week or two, we'll get a plan of waiting how we do going forward. An agreement with everybody. On the other side, the ministry side, we said that this weekend we just come out and lead the delegation to Guinea. Myself, NATCA, the partners then. Because why? We want to establish an interconnection with Guinea. So if Salon go down for whatever reason, we can go to Guinea and go get bandwidth. So we will govern the same thing, vice versa, on both sides to establish that connection. And why Guinea important to me? Because this interconnection, if you really establish that with the border country, Salon and Guinea and Liberia no more yet. But Guinea, they get 6 other bordering countries, then they get more cable. So if we connect to Guinea, automatically we also the benefit from that Guinea, the other 6 options we then get. For example, Ivory Coast they have 4 cable, and Guinea connect to Ivory Coast. So we connect to them, then they also go enable we share bandwidth, or the reserve emergency bandwidth. Then we keep our number with 2. If we go off, we will be there the same on that same situation. And also, this emergency ban will get potential what we discuss for see how it could influence the cost of data. But that we will come to actually say, or hopefully there will be an announcement on that at some other point. So now I don't go inception meeting with my counterpart, the minister like Guinea. We don't agree on the principle of all of this. The DG of NATCA, just if you mean data from India today, they lead a technical team. Now again with all the partners, then go meet the counterparts and Guinea who agree on all the technical specifications next week. So that by coming out of that next week, in a very 2-3 weeks as well, we'll see that signing, that a very historic signing for me of that agreement. Then now long term, these are all the other things I mentioned are short-term solution which will happen within the next month or 2.
All right. 1 more minute. 1
more minute. Just on the long term now. Ultimately, for 2 protection, for me we limit this with one. Because anybody get 1 cable, as long as 1 cable get vulnerable. For more 2 limiter, ultimately we need 2 cable. We need 2 cable at any given moment in time. So what will they do towards that? The private sector, they come together, then they form this partnership. We look at the Meta to Africa cable. They decided they will come together, form this consortium for bringing this cable and how we government to support them in that initiative. On government side, we work with regional partners, ECOWAS. ECOWAS get this initiative called Amical Cabral, where they put for all countries with a 1 cable they get. For CRDA will help we get another cable. Government on your side, we definitely pursue that. But I also want to end by saying, with all of this, for assurance, we're not complacent. We understand, this is a vital service for everybody. It linked to the way of life now. As I say, some people say, the first thing they do before they touch Bible for Quran and for watching food, and the first way you check. So even if we understand, we take that on board, and we are just managing this assurance. The other part, and then go provide more specifics into letting the our talk about this and just general oversight of what is happening and what will they do for resolve. Thank you.
The Honorable Salima Monamaba, the Minister of Communications, Technology and Innovation, are also proud to say, and the youngest cabinet minister inside President Biden government. They'll provide a comprehensive update on the status of the sector and also on the status of connectivity. Highlights. This is a human rights issue. It's no longer a privilege. We continue to make significant investment for expand access to this country and for make sure we expand quality. The work we do every day, just talk about just for between last year and this year, in terms of penetration, we continue to see increase and access and the quality as well. We don't need permission, license for logins 4G as well, and President vision. And at that 96%, 97% we call and follow converter to 100%. So every part of this country will get that. But they know the rest. Because the cable level only challenges the day, it's problem the day, they may already look at alternative. Just last week I must say, we just come out and team, they give with the whole team for solve this problem, just to announce it. Next week there will be follow up very soon we will sign for get a plus and solution. So not to go remove it to go over say, the problem is so, we add this one solution there. And then for deal with the problem again in a very long time. And they also mean say part of what he announced. Why would they get a challenge that if you get Starlink, you don't even tie it to that part of it. So we continue to provide people with alternatives for make sure say that human rights with excellency don't say when a human rights, nobody can take it away from you. Now we're going to use Zoom Labs. Mr. Edis. This Zoom Labs, interestingly, a lot of people don't really fully understand what's in a Zoom Labs. They will, in fact, some people just be saying a SAMCA, now a Zoom Lab. And so whenever there's a problem, there's a challenge, a Zoom Labs will be blamed. I mean, we can talk about why that's the issue. We need to talk more about my own comments as well. But this is an opportunity for you to explain to people that I'm not saying I very good communicator in very simple terms. What's in a Zoom Labs? The this, the minister will give you small hints. And from my own perspective, what are the status? Who's how we do right now? What do people have to expect?
Thank you, Mr. Minister. And I'll try not to go over a lot of the things that Mr. Salim had already. But I'll do two things. First, I would like to congratulate Minister Salima. I don't work inside, alongside, outside government a lot, and people have different ways of trying to address things. But the one thing I have found over the years is the sense of urgency of finding a solution. So one unique feature with Inget or quality is you know, wait for next month. Because usually in government, it's okay, we'll do inside the next 3 weeks. It's hard. When I talk, you say, well, Lord, on Monday or tomorrow, or now we come up here, say, Lord, we'll back next week and probably the other week. So it is only through a behavior like that we were able to address some of the problems that we salon face, especially the pressing ones. And I'm sure it's not a mistake that the president choose people with the energy. Now, coming to the issue of Zoom Labs, who Zoom Labs is, what it does, I will also try for
talk. I beg you let you stick to Creole.
Okay,
don't say.
I can struggle small.
At the same time.
I can struggle small, but I'll try.
Now we come at the back of here.
Okay.
So we like English. Or do you have to talk Creole, sir? Okay.
Thank you. So Udan has Zoom Labs. So I think Minister Ba talk about SALCAP when they say Zoom Labs, they remember SALCAP. To some extent, not true. But I'll just use a simple analogy for describe how Zoom Labs and SALCAP connect. So if today we get SALCAP, now we get SAL and this NACAP. So going forward, just understand, say, Zoom Labs is only now SAL. And how does this work? I will go back and provide some explanations around this whole thing we call internet. And I'm going to use Maggie, say Maggie 9 and internet, and how people access Maggie. So internet really like information there on computers, they call them servers. They're sitting in a store, like in a warehouse. So if you want Facebook today, you see it on your phone, but everything about that Facebook content, it actually is on a computer somewhere in another country. So for you able to access Facebook, it's like how they take the Maggie from the warehouse for bring and come, in this case, to your phone. That road, when the Maggie worker, we don't see it with our eyes, but it's actually based on infrastructure, like physical road, where the truck get for drive on. So everything will pertain to the internet that when people they access in a salon, they need a highway where the internet, the Maggie internet will be put up. That infrastructure for now 2 ways a day. One, there's a cable, where people are extra cable, but it is under the water. Because now under the water, that cable, they take go Paris, it go South Africa, it go now Spain. When are they, some of them server they sit down, or they self-connect with other cable where they go outside the server they sit down. So that's the whole arrangement. Now, I think the minister also said 8 years ago, because now only few people did they get internet. When internet they go down for one whole day, 99.99% of the population not even know. Today, when lights go, we didn't know. So as more and more people they use this internet, they access this Maggie. If they say today Maggie don't done a store, more people get for grumble. So now the sensitivity of us to internet, it don't increase 100 times compared to say 8 years or 10 years ago. Zoot Labs now they handle this highway where they connect Sierra Leone to all those other Maggie and Sidon, and they go on the submarine cable. So, the arguments about why government gets sal and cab, it did, and for efficiency purposes, but I should say the minister will talk on that later. So, it was like, now when we get this component, we will make sure that this person will manage and do them to the best of their ability. Don't get anything where they distract them. Then the other pathway for make this internet available to the public, don't get other person. So, in that, they not money they work on, they're not concerned with the international. So, Zoot Labs is responsible for the international highway where they bring in traffic. I'll move to the next part about, well, why this thing they happen now so frequently? Well, part of it is we are more sensitive to it, so we notice now when it happens. But the second reason is, this highway where they call this cable, it only old. Now 2012 they built up. If my road set they make, we don't take 10 years, 15 years, we see the pothole they go. So we need for the patch up as we go. For we waiting at Godrich, before goodies, and they find road. Now, all reach there, it is slow. Why? Because they spoil and they get for block the road for maker. So, the reality is, this cable where they lay in 2012, don't the age. It don't get problem. It cut for himself, intentionally or unintentionally. Intentionally, sometimes fishermen they pass, they do trolley. The cable they don't under the water, they hook up, they cut up. You don't even know. You have to go find out what happened first, then you fix that problem there, then you come back. Now, as these risks of cuts they increase, that is the likelihood for say for the cuts they increase. What we they do and what government has free for you. They say, try for country town, you either pass Waterloo or you pass you either go so or you go Peninsula, but even there you get for going up now Waterloo and take one way for go. So it means if anything happens between Waterloo and Mashaka, or Waterloo and Songo, nobody will able for come up, go any part upland until they fix that road there. This is the example of how it happen. Anytime one cable cuts, we not get internet. So what is Zoot Labs do? We build more roads. When Zoot Labs take over from Salka, there were 2 alternative routes there where the internet users they take mobile for bring internet in the country. We find out say, this is not get for work. So build other road. Build other road where probably they go now through another path. So if these 2 and bulk, or then therefore repair or maintenance, this way makes it must carry on work at it. That's a third road. So currently, there are 3 roads where they bring internet na salon. One, they go under the water to Paris on this infrastructure where the minister called ACE. The other one, they take another route but under the water to Spain, Lisbon, and then the third one, where Zudlab can add, now for go down to Cape Town in South Africa. This now for reduce the likelihood for say the whole country will go down, but still it don't happen. It happened 3 weeks ago. So the minister called and say, even though maybe on a contract say it's acceptable for let it go down 0.3% of the time, right now the country is too sensitive to internet, so we have to go from 96% to 100%. So all of the discussions will happen now for make sure say internet availability inside this country, not to 99.7%, it is 100%. So what is Zudlab doing now? Now all ministers go to Conakry, they say big Lunge Bridge. So we're finding another path. Talk to the partner where they bring internet through Guinea, reaching at the border. We talk to Cabo, take her from there and bring her down inside the country. So again, it's just another effort inside the short-term solution for say, let this country not the 2 minutes of internet not in the country.
So the old road, I like that metaphor because it's very clear. What will they do for fix the road? Because in a patch the patch themselves, when they patch them preemptively, themselves are a small issue. Say, oh, when they wait to go and patch them, or the wait will problem be the will patch them. What will they do constantly for assure people that say, we get means and for no say, this road they are way also, not the way say the people that go inside or fix that. Talk about that quickly.
Yeah, so like roads, you get the one, that didn't happen. So again, let us make we family understand, say, this highway where they call the cable where they go internationally, not to government get them. The pathway government get now the one where they can inside salon. So there is a component where they will say this is not salon, there's a component where 16 countries they share. So the ACE highway itself is now a big infrastructure which connects 16 countries to the rest of the internet. So you get things that really happen on this when are completely outside salon. Until I up them Morocco side that they happen. So when that happens, now the ACE, when the organization we get membership from these 16 countries, now they make that maintenance arrangement, they all now put in your contribution. Right. So the one they planned, the one they will not plan. Both of them, not to Zudlab per se. Zudlab they wait, ACE do one, then give the money where ACE they use for their repairs.
Okay, thank you very much. So look at the new come now. We are the gap. Inside the waiting at the side gap. All been separate. So the same question I ask Mr. Ellis, now I ask you, Mr. Modu. Waiting at the come for in simple language, explain to people that how una connect, waiting una they do, and how una they make sure say, then challenges are people in the face so recently. What will they do for solve them? Or what now your role inside that matrix where the minister just explained to you?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Minister. Leocom, a company we come out from where government decide for Ogon Group SALCAP. What does it mean that the government say SALCAP get a cool role they play? And for some reasons, we government didn't fit. They say, let we separate SALCAP. As Mr. Mahmoud said, we are the other arm of SALCAP. Leocom now gets the contract agreement with government of Sierra Leone. Now we the maintenance, we commercialize and operate the national fiber backbone infrastructure. What does this mean? The national fiber backbone infrastructure na a carrier network. Carrier we mean say na in the carry traffic for we clients them. Who are we client them? We client them at the mobile network operators, Africell, Orange, QCell, internet service providers, AFCOM, IPTEL, Online, Mitchcom, and others. Then people there, where them buy wholesale bandwidth from Zoom Labs within a beach. Then they reach out to Leoncom and say, Leoncom, I get this internet bandwidth. I need, for example, 2 gig na Bo, 2 gig na Kenema, 2 gig na Makeni, Kono, Cambia, Kabbalah, you name it. So now Leoncom, they transport. So take Zoom Lab as in a scenario base, say Zoom Lab 9 hour Taki. They don't come with the goods them through the ship. They don't come our Taki. Leoncom, now in they take this service system, all the goods they are with the ship can our Taki, when at Zoom Labs. Now we they take them, we offload them common our Taki, and we go left on the various areas and the location there where we people and say, now they want them. So we people them, now Orange, AfriCell, QCell, and the mobile network operators, and then we get AFCOM, online, and the other internet service providers there. So this now Leoncom is primary mandate for make sure say we transport data service across the country. So one of the things that we Leoncom also they do, while we they go transport all the data service here, we make sure say we they support government on a vision where government will say it wants for enhanced connectivity to universities, schools, hospitals, ministries, departments, and agencies, when all government institutions them with across the country and provincial areas. So what Leoncom said they do for add to this, now that we get what we call AL fiber, where now the same as metro cable, where people like they say metro. That term basically now the technology world for fiber where they pass now them poles them and they go now we host them, offices and different communities. We get metro cable, Nabo, Kenema, Makeni, Kono, Cambia, Pujol, Kabbalah, and Podloko, and few other district headquarter towns. Leoncom get presence now all the district headquarter towns na Sierra Leone, with the exception of Kaine and Falaba, of which we have a very good relationship and a talking terms with the ministry for let me see how we footprint. That is the national network fiber and backbone infrastructure with the all sides of this country. No district, not left behind. So, and also one of the things that we Leoncom they do for enhance this network now that we they put what we call backup plans. Backup mean, for example, if you dey waka from you want to go downstairs now from this building, oh, this one are foreign affairs. Not to one way this they make this infrastructure for good downstairs, not so. You get the staircase and then you get the lift. If the lift go, you go use the staircase for good down, not so. So this now the plan where they'll compete in place. We get so many multiple backup plans and this network so much that if one leg, that is one cable path go off, then cut out. Because these are the basic challenges, the regular challenges they will face for damage the fiber cable. If one leg go down, we get other areas there where we they make sure say.
So what's in the happen to Bona we lost internet service.
Okay.
And then it take a whole day.
Just give me a few seconds, then I come to make able to identify. I like this proper. Let people, because these are technology related information, then we all just sing, then we come back to go. So, if one leg go down, we get multiple way with traffic they pass, just like I used the scenario of the staircase and the lift. This is now waiting the Leoncom to do, for make sure that at all time, we get what we call service continuity. People not for go blackouts. So, talk about Go as how you sensitively pick on that point. We get areas then where if you know able, you get areas then where we may need for activate, that is between the submarine station and the Leoncom Network Operation Center we have during a day. So interesting, I think Madam Minister forget the instance The instance now been that disaster management agency, they've been get for dig some path and do some work. Exactly. So the procedure when we get as a nation, when you dey do any work wey dey affect utility service, you not just dey go and jump into it. You go get for informed sector players, and then come there, we all dey do that work dey collectively, and then we manage the situation. So this not be happen. So when they do this, the person where they do the machine, where they like forklift it out, so not be I get an idea of
any knockout one of the
completely along
But
that.
the reason why I asked the question and the timing of the question, because you can say the home come, they make sure say we get alternatives, so we no get shut down. Say we get road for good on so we get road for ODM so when that power they go out to go where they get information knockout. Explain to me why it take that long for you to find the other road.
It being very critical. We get technical glitches at some point. So that was why it took that long, because from the challenges.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to move to the regulator because this is very important on this question. And thank you. I think it really, and even for me as the minister, I can put up my hand and say the role I explain and so with the minister and on all, it's really useful for the public. We will make sure say the team that we really help for distill this further and let we continue for getting kind of engagement here so people will know more and more. We'll come back to you. So make we come to Mr. Benfode. The regulator, all this issue, government's been on privatized. But what are your job? And for represent the people of the country, for hold it to a high standard, for make sure see we get less disruptions. Also, for make sure see the quality of the service we will provide is consistent and it meets with the minister in vision, a mandate, and the president's vision. So explain your role inside all of this and how they play on a role for support the citizens of this country for letting access the human rights we the minister just talk about.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. We roll NANATCA now for ensure say we provide the enabling environment for ensure say the work way we partners and they do. We consider the partners and we even with the private sector and the mobile network operators and the internet service providers and then do an age free. So that whilst we regulate for everybody. We get to regulate for government, we regulate for the people and the consumers or subscribers, then we regulate for the sector themselves. As we also, the way this thing did not happen critically, we don't get 3 days meetings now, we call it workshops. The last meeting at today will get, and when happened on Sunday, we had a meeting on Monday immediately, they will get a meeting Sunday the 4th of August, we had a meeting on Monday on the 5th, we are there for nearly 3 hours, for ensure that we farm up solutions by the directives from the ministry, because the ministry energy policy now we do the regulations. But whether it is policy or regulations, they say the devil is in the details. So the details are for ensure that we bring up to speed solution for waiting we know we repeat again. And today we just monitor for our 3 hour meeting. We don't give a matching orders that we get for look at waiting and for sent to me by close of business tomorrow. All the new pricing strategies and the pricing models across network, and that is Blue Labs and Salcas and the NNO, while they look at this thing for Guinea. Where we talk now, by tomorrow, we will look at and complete and analyze them. So before we go next week in Conakry, we get far more information over for Kerogode, because at the end of the day, waiting Conakry, Guinea, and waiting step they give them respect to redundancies, we get for come to term. So the bottom line is, even on the cost, you get for candle.
Mr. Benfode.
Yes, sir.
What's like redundancy?
Redundancy is an alternative route. That means we will use for pass back. Now we use, if we use this leg, then if something happens on this leg, then you will go this other side. Let us say, and the call say internet now it is all over the world. So nobody no one for if you spend 5 minutes without her. So waiting we do now for them we bring them up to speed. And we get even with regulations on quality of service. Like way quality of service get challenged in the recent past now because when they do upgrades, So, for example, without naming names, on one of the sector players, they all do upgrades now. So, like, they go in, for instance, and they change all of the technology from LTE to Huawei. Then they do it by sectors. So, by the end of this August, they're going to do every other thing. They have migrated all the 2Gs to 3Gs, same like MSC, I've said, I've said about 99% of migration from 2G to 3G. By next first quarter of 2025, they're going to move everything to 4G.
So we Orange, what kind of percentage?
Orange has done 100% on 3G migration. Done even on 4G, by next quarter, they will done everything on 4G.
Okay.
So waiting with the try for even on 5G, we don't get the test, but we're going to spectrum refarming because there are times people they can buy before now, we will not get spectrum refarming. That means we get a order. All man people at the market and buy it and hold on so that they compete for prevent main company no user. Because it's not all man they watch. Why is it they compete? But we don't go and down to the say now. Why when they compete? We still get for corporate for ensuring we deliver on digital inclusion. We don't talk about fourth industrial revolution, the generation Z and the millennials, or the baby boomers. We not let them in. All man get to be connected to the internet. And we all roll now to ensure say we give them either their penalties in our regulations. We go for ensure that those penalties are meted out to them and ensure that we bring them on to look for deliver on the goodies for salon. As we talk to now, we are looking at reviewing our quality of service regulations. The last one was in 2020. This is 2024, and the next 4 months we go to 2025. So we're going to review all of those regulations then for bringing it out to speed.
Mr. Benford, who sent this review to a lot of questions will go online dealing about quality of the network.
We are on the review right now as I talk. We are on the review right now as I talk. But the kind of this also, then they do upgrades. So if they do upgrades, you get small challenge on the quality. Not only that, then we also about densification. You know, say if we get increase in traffic, when you get traffic volume, even in free time, we get started and we say you get coverage gaps. The other day we are at Bango Farm. When they put Bango Farm, they can put even a Wilberforce because of the traffic volumes. Then therefore densification means add onto the towers so that congestion will be reduced. Even where we are, whether it's in Siama, it is in Mongo, wherever they are, there is coverage all over the place. But because of traffic volumes, then therefore do densification. Even necessarily do deep rural or peri-urban for ensuring that all man can and therefore connect. Because everybody now know will go without the internet. Where one person with 10 or 11 or even before that, they get phone. So if you get phone, the population only day before we get, population they increase by the day and by the hour. So once that they go, now congestion will set in. So what you get for do based on the traffic volume, once you go up to 70%, they go, no, I have to put another tower here, I go put another tower here, and I go put another tower here, then get the expansion and rollout plan to the at the end of start of every year. Then get an extension plan. So like this year, they will make sure they move around, they go to 50 towers, Q sellers to do 50 towers, and now they go to 118 towers.
All right. We get some questions that don't come online. I'm not even asked for questions, but I don't make it stay now. Now wait. Now we get the citizens, they will not send any question first, Lord ask. And that means that one big question, like question on cost. How will they control the costs and make sure, say, both mobile phone service, internet service, you know the last step, I think we'll be just take office, 9 tariff them involved. I mean, big conversation will be books for me and for explain to citizens. But one question we keep on coming is how will they maintain reasonable costs for citizens and how will they make sure, say, the cost regime is transparent?
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. And I think Senating as a government, we always up for confront the difficult questions. No government will see one. And the last way me and you want to confront at 1 month into the job, you can't get issue of say tariff costs. But a case was made. As you know, not to go back on our issue, we saw issues increase in fuel, increase in the energy, extra cost, the exchange, the dollar exchange, and all of these things really impact the cost of the operators. These towers, they run, for now, most of them they run on fuel. Although they imply on them and force on them, say we want to see them move to renewable energy, but for now, most of them they on generators or etc. So on that thing, and then that thing that they influence or inform the cost of the data. So what do we do? One of the big things even the interest government in this additional to the redundancy with this Guinea, I know I use the word because somebody may not want me in social media for the word redundancy, but this link one do with Guinea, the backup, one thing now for the emergency, but another factor with the interest governments are potentially foresee how, if because of this Guinea link, if there is a potential, say, because of that, the cost go be reduced. And that government interest and I think we will talk about will be finalized with all of the partners. That's a short-term plan. Long-term plan, I mentioned to the digital transformation projects. One of the things that they do, everything currently they ongoing now for the custody. That custody they will do, 90, they go into account, they look into the ISPs, the telcos, Zoom Labs, Leocom, they look into how they do their pricing, waiting the influence that decision and at the end, waiting NATSCA the supervise, because at the end of the day, NATSCA they regulate, so we can't do pricing. They give NATSCA for the future, they give me an equation. Now they can see fear. Now what we don't government don't do with fear now they just go up. Government, we don't get this equation where they go into a standard format, where they go into for inform fuel increase. Now that same thing they now we get for do we can to
How soon?
So the study currently they ongoing, I think they go complete by September, October. By this September. Oh, no, 30 days. So 100 days, so around October, in 2 more months, that assessment day would be, I think the people have been in town just last week. And you see that it's all the people there, so in 2 months that study they will run. So going forward now, we'll get that equation, they will go inform whether decrease or any future increase.
So before the end of the year, me and you will come back to the people of this country and say, and the formula this, we will do on how we fully calculate the cost of mobile and internet costs as alone. And so the calculation will happen, will be transparent about that. And
Absolutely.
Wonderful. One more final question we'll get. Somebody say, what's at the cause of the terrible network, cellular and internet situation for weeks now? You see, especially with Orange. What's the Orange? Most likely at the top. See, what are they doing to solve the problem? How soon are they going to solve it?
I think say as Mr. mentioned specifically.
Now
upgrade the NEPA. I think say if you ask me what could be done better, which the commitment we have with the ministry now for engage on, we think what can be done better than the information.
Correct.
Because I don't think say people are aware specifically, like I always say, all in our communication, we communicate to people. People are not aware, say they upgrade, this now we can give them 4G. So this is a good thing. They happen for people, and in fact say Orange change all the technology now, they move all things to 4G now. Good thing where they can, but unfortunately the only way this for one. First you out the whole one and install the new one. And we don't get all that way for now. So 10 years time, better technology, but for now, so it did. So but at least they complete very soon. End of August, so all will be, that's the reason with NEPA government.
So from Bully, you experienced some difficulty on behalf of the government of Salon to apologize to you and say that the sector was supposed to communicate better, was supposed to tell you proactively and as right as a citizen. So you will say this problem for Apple because we don't say this now, bread and butter. But the academy minister don't say we will do better, we will work together with them while already there so that we will provide another information that you will know. But the good news now important here. Big, better service to the road and make the upgrade happen. The investment in that serious investment, we will make sure say we all we service them. Now I don't come to now say they get more for ad, but I want for give you a chance quick for ask a few questions. So we will extend this first one, we will get more of the panelists there. So we'll take the first round, somebody will play sound right for you, please turn off. And then we take the first set of questions and then we'll come back. Alright, let me see, where do we start? We start with you today, number 1. You go number 2. You go number 3 with the white, you go number 4, the bag number 5. Patience, you can. Yes, start.
Thank you very much. My name is Ahmed Wansuri. the minister, you highlight some challenges with the states, the issue of internet connectivity, capacity building, and MP's infrastructure. A big challenge, and said just mention we 1 or 2 MPs not use the same, internet connectivity of the same because of the various sectors. The question I have today and one for them because I know the community. The question is that what's now impactful digital service standards for international best practice? This is going to all service providers. Yeah? Thank you very much.
What's not the impactful digital service standards
for international best practice?
Okay, thank you. Number 2.
Good day, Mr. Minister. All for congratulations on the good step because
This mic, now please change this mic, you know it will work fine.
as a ministry, Madam Minister, which one I don't do for beyond telecommunication when I say itself? Which are the steps that the month will take and for CC and bring Cybersecurity back to life?
Thank you. Good question. Number 3, this gentleman there. Okay, one mic here. Faster. Charles, we normally give the one mic on this side, one mic on this side. This one not to want to promote the same mic here. Go ahead. It's okay.
My name is Ibrahim Sarah Sisi, voice of Salon Radio. And then you talk about the increase of tariff, the internet tariff. But we see poor quality based on the internet. As a ministry, how can we monitor the situation for let me get better quality? Because we buy the data, it will take you 1 or 2 minutes before you will connect.
Okay, thank you. Number 4. This gentleman with white.
Yeah, my question is,
Your name, please.
FSC Joseph. The 3 major cities, Freetown, Bo, and
Just to be clear, that is treatment with minor endorsement.
when we look at Freetown,
Okay.
McKinney,
Yes.
and Bo,
Good. Better for you. Yes.
the 3 side, few weeks, or 3 inside of the internet go down. And I agree to talk about continuity by the cable and giving courses a day. And somebody mentioned, I don't know who's they mentioned that somebody they build posts, they go deep, and then it's a cable. Yeah. Waiting at the measures on can take from people and the way they go to them work and they without permission. Then what's the government do towards that?
Okay.
Then what's not the feet of the whole lady deep for healing cable?
Thank you. People number 1.
Mohammed Gura, for the Washington Sweeper, and Central Media Hub Limited. Mr. Edwards, any of you in 2023, the Ministry of the Senior Corps report said there are 1.38 million users of internet in Sierra Leone. In 2012, we referred to, the former government will say the cable we talked to are 7,000 miles from Paris. Now we don't go beyond Spain and Portugal, and again to Cape Verde. Now the Honorable Minister talk of interconnections again. Then we begin to talk. Just one question: how safe as Meridian users the internet in terms of hackers in the cyber world? Thank you.
Waiting make the bag get the title of the designer. Waiting make in a resident celebrity. Now see, you do in research. I know you do background work with the gaps in question. There. And I no more get rights for do preface with asking question. Nobody else. There's no even free and celebrity. They speak English inside the world. And they never. Alright, so we have 5 questions. So let's go quickly. I think most of the questions are really about quality, digital service standards for international best practice. That's a question we, I think, apply to now all. What do you do about CRTL, Madam Minister? Somebody said the poor quality of the internet service will be kept, so what do you do about that? And then most measures they will take for the one away, they follow the regulation with the dig and the gap. And then very important question to Zoom Labs is about if the line so long, the way we use them, how are we protected from hackers? What I want to do, I want to do the reverse. I want to start to tune out, then we can out to regulator, and then we go to government.
Okay, so thank you, sir. So let's talk about security and protection at 2 levels.
Yeah.
One, now, how is it that we will be how we will able to protect ourselves such that we want internet and we're not able to get them. So lots of protection in terms of access. So if you want it, you want them and you're not able to get them, that you don't get problem. So that's at the first level. The second level now, the hackers we talk about. So again, me bank account, again, me small confidential information we did on the internet. Yeah. Because everything connected like that, yeah. And evidence don't show say somebody able for dinner, Ukraine. And because instead get internet, you said get internet, something they will go there on your computer, where you go able for fend ways, but that is a knowledge issue. Waiting Zoom Labs, they try for now, primarily now protection on that first level. For protect you, such that we brother they talk about blackouts. They don't say Zoom Labs, you make sure say internet they can in this country. And then, whether on cable records, whether any other reason, people want internet. Leoncom ready for transporter, the mobile company ready for giving people there. But Zoom Labs say internet money. So now that protection, Zoom Labs, they focus in attention. And as we talk, part of the reasons we take in, now for add one more rule. We get 3 rules when they come for all our time. And all of them, they get the same risk. So how about we look other side now for prevent damage? On the one of the hacking, in not one person they do, but ministry they do of putting, to the extent they don't set up a whole institution where they call, they shut them at NC3, but what it really mean now, National Cybersecurity Coordination Center. So that means like the ONS for cyber issues. So then they monitor, whether they try for cancer salon via the internet, we're not authorized, how the MPAs therefore protect themselves, which measures therefore take for make sure they will prevent unauthorized access of sensitive information inside Sierra Leone. But maybe the ministry go on for talk about that. Quality of service. Do that again in your role. So I'll do small English. Then get one word where they call latency. Understand latency in IT as the time what it take for make a talk and make you hear it. Because it not happen at the same time. We know they recognize them, but when you click something on your phone or on the computer, small time the way it take for let people pull the machine at the store. So that time there's a way where they measure and they call them latency. Most times it is in milliseconds, so it not even reach 1 second. So the way NASCAR they use, the way ministry they use, the way the MNOs that they use for check whether Zoom Labs in quality good. Now, how long that latency they last for letting the traffic come? Currently, we don't come on NASCAR, they say for be 100 milliseconds. So then between 80 and 100 milliseconds. So that is like almost 1/10 of a second information for them reach to me. How they monitor that day, there are other discussions where they go on, but this is just the situation.
All right, Leonko, same question around standards.
Thank you.
So I think I just leverage on, for managed time, on leverage on the information we, make a lean on the information we Mahmoud don't give about informing on all about the National Cybersecurity Coordination Office, their responsibility, whether they work with we all, whether they do their infrastructure also. And also now we own individual infrastructures, then we get things that will put in place for make sure say unauthorized people they no access we network.
When they move from Wataki for Kango now with visual warehouse, una self prone to attack on the way. And una your system, people just want assurance that it's safe and in compliance with international best practice.
Yes. So in fact, because of waiting here talk about, so one thing I want to know that now this whole country we get 45 sites there. All the district headquarters, towns there, and towns and villages, them all. So, what thing they happen most times, a real form of sabotage or some of these damages to the fiber cable, it can happen out of ignorance. We get areas then where erosion take place excessively. Somebody they come on a farm early cutlass, just carelessly just watch this cable, they just plug in and they cut the fiber. A blackout day so that community day or that region. And then also,
some are not so ignorant, so some are they go there into
yeah, that's right. Some are deliberate, and some are, I never be fair enough, you know. Some are deliberate, some are out of ignorance. And then you get people that way they encourage and put structures there that the SLIA right of way. Because the SLIA right of way, and they will mandatory for put the cable for layer on places, them all used. So you get communities the way they go. Me and you get to small money, you want to build shop. Somebody come, you want to build a shop, you're not even aware, you're not going to take permit, and just kind of begin dig for putting foundation. The next thing you remember, we were sitting down at this room, if Nabo again, Nabo will affect Kenema McKinney, Orange don't go off, because they take our first from the end service provider, when Orange after QCell. Orange after QCell don't go off. If you're knowledgeable enough, you begin think, say, oh, they don't even exist. Which then make we gladly forget this kind of session. So people go understand the interface and the phases them of how services then will be delivered. Please now. Secondly, what thing we want for do will we know they ask and that we want the government help we forget laws. For let we able to tag fines them so that people there with the damage the infrastructure. The reason why they ask at least for 1 minute now, because I tell you, if we not will get multiple backup routes, then this cable go down damage at this point. Me and you for imagine now how much people they dig foundation today. Now these routes all through to the province. A lot of people they do their only to development, right? So, and what will they do again? Now we office now doing when I do get with network operation center, we get people there where they work round the clock, just like hospital. Then they monitor with network screen like this so. Then they monitor them 24 hours a day, full time. Then they do 3 shifts a day. Then they do 7 days a week around the clock. We not get holiday, we not get holiday.
So if any problem, immediately
send they notify. And then also we get regional deployment of engineers and technical support staff. We get them in the northeast region, we get them in the southeast region, we get them in the northwest area. And then we take multiple backup links. And then we shake hands with the neighboring country, Guinea. When they as how the minister they talk to, for them we able to make sure that this country is secure more. And then we make sure that we get continuous internet service. We they shake hands with Guinea for take another route of backup. And then the last one, I will say you want for coming, Mr. Minister, we do community sensitizations. We get what we call road monitors. We get individuals that will be there take. When they go to chiefs then, we say, this chiefdom, give me 3 people then, where they route just outside the cable pass. Let them they watch every day. We buy motorbike for them, and people and they fear the motorbikes. We all know, and they get, I think we all can imagine the challenges and full financial exposure with all them there. Then they plan at their community, then they all day. Anything where they see, if possible one challenge them, then go to the chief. So we do community sensitization and tell people that we can't achieve them. All the help on this. So far, and this we will say.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much. Natska.
Thank you very much. Let us respond to the colleague. We asked for impactful digital service standards. Of course, everything we do is based on ITU standards. Salon are a bona fide member of the International Telecommunications Union. So all we SOP is the standard operating procedures based on ITU standards. Even while it's about NFAS, then the National Frequency Allocation Table, we know we just go out from space. We go for based on the standard that is laid. With respect to pricing, we get what we call floor and cap. So in the discussions today, one thing we will talk about for bring prices down. We say, and then we say that we will get floor, the price will be low on for the MNOs, then they get cap, the cap will be pricing will go above for MNOs, and so that will be the same thing for the Zoom Labs and Salcap with the supply ISPs. So the conversation is that, and there's way for country against tomorrow, like I mentioned. Then on the penalties, we was in court, like you mentioned, we are reviewing the regulations, so bring that on board. So if it's not clearly spelled out in the regulations respect to penalties, we was in physically go court, because the penalties are just on the service providers, they will bring that on board. They will do the relevant provisions in the regulations. Thank you.
Madam Minister, you get no do them one day and then you end with say to deal with the quality question and
yeah, I think thank you very much. I think on the international best practices, as the regulator just mentioned, we follow IT standards, the national broadband strategy, the national government enterprise architecture. These are all international standards. We to the Salomo model, we bring in the IT, use the Smart Africa, Dial, and they all enable we for development planning. So that they benchmark against international best practice. On the issue of poor quality, I think as the regulator mentioned, that's one of, I know say the DG, that's one of the biggest priorities. As much as again the digital transformation project, one of the challenges we not can be done the face the equipment then, because we get the laws. We get the laws for more we know say the telcos where you call your data the loss or the drop calls or other issue that we get regulation for stopping. The problem when we not get way for monitor. For no, say almost, because obviously now technology will allow for some drop calls, but we get benchmarks, almost for past. The problem when they will not get away for monitor, we rely on their data. The projects now, they provide support for moving the equipment and
this mobile
project. We just done the specifications of the equipment. I believe say before the end of the other contract they go sign, so we'll get the equipment. NATCA now we will measure, and I know see what the DG now they also do. We look at the penalties because it's already fine. Telco 1,000 euro, you know potentially that many hits. So you for fine waiting the person in the field. We will make sure say he waiting it for you. So I don't say the DG that's a big priority for right now for look at the regulations and so once we get the equipment we'll be able to begin effect that enforcement game. Because that will begin solve some of the issues of quality of service. On the celestial cutting and go as Leon come just mentioned, but really wait around it now. Yes, again this activity the regulator they look at for see how they enforce, but no better way not the past community ownership. Recently gladly for this a couple of days ago video me they go around and catch somebody in our area and also just it is sometimes willful. Then they cut time so then we go sell. Now they go just be frank and willful. So one man for your own interest, we cut I don't deprive the whole community. So I think say the every time in like but that what I see and also to happen later, but what me see the community take ownership and then go report. You know, we just say people and turn vigilante for begin beat people them. You know, there's protocols in place. So they catch the person, then take the person and go report to the authorities. I think say community ownership of understanding say that cable now only where one person cut her, all man and community is suffer. So they will be able to come in for resolve the situation. So I been really want to enforce that. On the cybersecurity question, they all don't talk about the internet provision, how to protect them, but even then digital government platform they're also prone to cyber attack. So that national cybersecurity coordinating center where we get, Also, the work with the donor for protect government services, for make sure say government in response to them, for more protect we safe and respond to potential cyber attack really dey up. So for now, we then get support from ECOWAS, where they install equipment at that center they for more really effectively do that. And also, just a couple of months ago, we go sign the Budapest Convention. Because you know, cybersecurity na big space. You come to one day, you for join on. We therefore belong to the international community where we move all come together. So we belong to that day. So now go ratify the Budapest Convention at Paris. So now we are part of that and the biggest cybersecurity organization with this. So we don't so now are part of that day. So we all don't join on for do that day. I will end now with a big question. When I say I tell, when somebody asks me, not a very valid concern. This means you don't get. As far as we are aware, government don't decide to privatize Airtel. And that's for very good reason. Same reason we make government decide for privatize Alcap. We all understand, say sometimes, especially anything there, these are businesses. This is not private sector business, providing internet. The tell we get certain and the tell we maybe will not be able to attract enough private sector. But now we don't get Orange, we don't get AfriCell, we get QCell. We believe say that time for me say Airtel also be privatized. Because on that only way then they will compete. We get private sector investments, then we will compete with the others. So we're there on that process there in terms of privatization. But most important activity also happen is an audit. For me, privatize, for me, you attract investors, you have to tell them what's in the table. You have to tell them this now the assets them and the infrastructure we say Airtel gets, this now the liabilities we say Airtel gets because Airtel get liabilities then, and this now the potential value which is Airtel worth. What we don't know that from an independent, well-respected source. But even within one another, they write out so many. Even yesterday, somebody called the discourse. We work with NCP for able to walk through this process also. But in the interim, we can't just say Airtel, we still, even though they move towards privatization, we still see which measures we can put in place at least for being able to sustain itself till the privatization we can to the workers then, how they provide for them. And we come to the operations and we then do. So our station Airtel is a priority. Government consider and move along to waiting the privatization for look like and which kind of operations Airtel should be into for me then really able to compete with the private sector. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Next round of questions. We have to start with the woman now. 5 men the last time. So, pass the woman name, no, the sense they only ask who. Who get one? And there? The man and there, but I don't see the woman and there. No? Okay, so what you be behind that we be fit for expression, that's the baby. Okay, so we go this way. 1 on this side, 2 at the back. 3 year, 4 year, and 5 to A1. Okay? Unfortunately, then all the 5 we will take for today. So please. I want for remind family, let's say, if you didn't host, una within yourself. One way we ensure say we ask you question. Text 818. Use the link. All questions that come online are asked. Guaranteed. If you didn't you send a question online, I ask the panel before I ask the panel before I go. So even if you didn't allow, so you don't ask us the question, okay? Just send the text. You know it costs you nothing. Toll free on all networks. Would they QCell, would they AfriCell, would they Orange? 818, you send the question to the answer. Okay, let's go. Yes.
Now, Francis Houghton from Sierra Leone. I spent 3 days in Mamba, specifically Banter Chiefdom, and the quality of the network that a particular community is poor. I asked the minister what they do for improve the service with the network in the community there. And also, why should they travel from Freetown for go upline? You notice in between na the road you dey lost network. Wetin the ministry say they do for improve that quality?
Thank you. Good day, number 2, over this side. Whether you go ahead.
Okay. My name Mahmoud Silla from the Nature newspaper. Mr. Minister of Information, my question goes to you. English. A question that justice delayed is justice denied. After the August 10 incident 2022, government set up an investigative committee and they did a report. Up till now, we don't know the status of that report. There are people whose names we are on that list or in that investigation report that they should face full-fledged of the law. Up till now, they are parabolating, marauding in the state of Sierra Leone without justice being meted on the victim.
All right, number 3.
Okay, so
Thank you. Go ahead.
Minister Justice, Salu from Sierra Fox Media. So I want to send a question to Minister, and I want to commend you for your presentation and your achievement. But one thing that you mentioned, and when I want the biggest question, anyway, the creative work asks you when I monetization. How far we they on this? And also how the public will be able to benefit from this Starlink launch, because presently I understand say like how you say now few silent normal force now they try for do some testing or try for the opportunities to how to open to the public like we for able user, because after we sell Orange don't disappoint you. So one thing out of this.
Go ahead.
President Minister. We don't see the fight between Lebanon and Israel on the escalate, and we see what happens is don't able to take their citizens them, and for the past 1-2 weeks, don't they get story videos, message from we colleagues and what they foresee how best government can able to rescue them and put them back home. So it's the position of government president of that situation there.
Thank you. Number 5.
Improving the internet, expanding it, they attract more users. So I want to ask, waiting the ministry they do for ensuring, they create more way for educate people on cybersecurity, especially the internet fraud started. The local Sierra Leone, for example, we only get the issue of the super adverts and all anything derived from the internet. So waiting the ministry to for create more education, to educate people on how therefore they make use of information from the internet.
Thank you. I think somebody in there that way in hand medium, and again the chance to ask him question. Be the last one, yes.
Thank you for the equality knowledge paper. Dr. Zula, there is some rumor going on, or somebody has written it as article. Actually, my investment very poor. And that's when you will have the account for the contract. When I become with a portfolio, when I promise to come to a portfolio of $20 million to strengthen the landing station inside the cable they come out. But according to information, we dey get this poor quality because we are not dey invest at all, and when they left the cables there, we are not dey repair them. So we are responsible for the poor quality we dey get. The accusation even talks saying we are conniving with the ministry because
the former minister not be pin the foot down for that una really unbundle una portfolio. But instead una say, who una collect from Seratel, who una collect from Airtel, Africell, this, that, una will maintenance.
Question there somewhere,
Then that is a question, yes. So,
okay,
what make it slow in this internet provision? Because they say we are not great invest. They say we are rely on payment.
We don't hear that part this. So the question after that I respond, eh?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. So we get quite a few questions there. Tell them thank you. We don't know for today. I apologize. As I can say, just to be clear, I appreciate the one that we ask questions. We're not related to this sector. These are the government of Salem weekly press conference. So you get to ask about any and everything concerning the government of Salem. And that name this platform there. And my job has been some information for get that information for you. As it can be sometimes I don't can get information. So I will promise you say I will do a follow-up and reach out to a particular journalist and can. But I can say now just quickly on the question of August 10, that I know say there was a public report. The commission was led by lawyer Safa Abdullah, Imana Safa Abdullah, and say there's a public report that was issued with a whole lot of recommendations why not the government not follow up on. The other way they say there was allegations that then people ready for the board to no say a commission of inquiry not equal necessarily. In fact, it's not a commission of inquiry, but an investigation commission. No means say the conclusions then. Now law officers get for look at that day, for example, if for say or prosecute somebody for say meets the evidentiary threshold. So all are in a part of the process, but I want to engage with you for know if you ask for specific steps that we will not take it following that investigation day and the step they will supposed to take for follow up on that. As the current president of the United Nations Security Council, the government of Salem, of course, care about what's in the happen between Lebanon and Israel. In fact, I know say there are some emergency sessions they would on call during the course of this month for particularly against that issue there. And then, as a sovereign state, we care about the welfare of our citizens there all across the world. Say we get within constant touch as well with not just with embassies and consulates within our region there, but for also coordinate any humanitarian response we will require for coordinates for in the case where possible or where needed, either evacuate with citizens there or other supports we will provide to citizens there. So I can assure you, say the Minister of Foreign Affairs, they pay very close attention to this issue. There's a question on cybersecurity education and all. Me and the Minister are going to talk a lot about how we work together for increased citizens in digital education. In fact, one of the pillars of the recent Content 3 civic education strategy around digital citizenship. And then they get to include all of that. Even just this morning, me and the Minister had a conversation, a meeting, we will discuss this, and I'm not saying several add on that. But I think quite a few questions are directed to you. So I will come to you on the question of monetization. The board has say Starlink only limited to some people and so far. So I think also now opportunity for them just clarifying Starlink and the opportunity we'll get, and then this question back on the area of citizens education. So touch on that one very quickly, and then I will come to Zoom Labs to respond to the question. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think say first somebody may get a question on again this issue of
dead zones, improvement networking with our community.
I think it's important first for understand again how this technology works. If I put this service in a latch on towers, now outside the tower and the radius of outside the tower they cover, as long as you do with that area, they you get. But we can't talk rural areas, I make the regulator to talk about density. We can't talk how mobile operators then they go penetrate. Obviously, person they put in towers on side where nobody know the day. If you go put tower na forest, go down for at least at some of there for the fuel. Not to just try to put you there for the put fuel, buy fuel, maintenance. If nobody know the for large to that tower, you really get no revenue. from that tower. So financially, and it makes sense for some of them. So that's then I let they inform the status, especially we gonna the gold now, we you part travel. Why you get in fleet on? Because population they all over. Right? So you don't get in fleet on. We can't to the Google areas you drive from here. So then in between and the two radios they don't meet up. So you will get none to just salon, and they happen all over the world. No country no go say every inch covered because we get a population gap, you get service gap. But what we really do, I can't talk to anybody, you revenue strategy, but as a government, we really say side and do if we even go, we're not so because of just looking at your revenue. So then we could get UADF, Universal Access Development Fund. Then all them telcos, everybody, all of them, then they put money inside UADF. When they put some money there, UADF the user for build towers, then are areas then we so tell the telcos, the private sector, then office say it meets a financial benchmark. For me, they put tower, but we put them because we believe say one, as somebody say, where you put the service, people in the car. They give you incentives to go launch in one UADF site. All of the cable 500 phone, all sell out. That one grade. So now I know we use as example to example and say, look, if you put some people in the user, you know, so we see the calls, and so that we as a government initiative what they do for drive pen, even in areas where we not think really telcos and offices as commercial viable, they work with them as a measure. Every year they get new sites when they put up. Then I told the monitor, when they just left a part of the commitment where they get to we every year, then they just sit on 1 year, they don't put no sites. Every year they increase, every year they increase. So now that day we work, and this is the reason why we potentially get then gap planning, but also on the issue of activity may explain why you enforce. When you get something then the thing they do the quality bad. When you not make it, as a population we grow, for example, if you build this 1 tower, you build and for maybe 50 people then use that. But because the population not go, now all of a sudden that community they'll get 200 people in. That means now you need to go put more. So these are some of the reasons where they have where congestion they happen, where the situation in the I just want to explain that. On the issue of monetization of social media platforms, that is one of the big takeaways that we'll get from the tech summit. I think as I mentioned, Meta, when the company we own Facebook and Instagram, they made it on. And this is a conversation when we get to them. We don't begin get help and also don't begin conversation with Google when I get YouTube. Those are the three, you know, we want to see people and do. And I think say to X in straightforward, you pay. Again, those are straightforward. We engage with them. There were some issues where they highlight. One, the struggle they face now in payment platform. For example, now if you don't monetize the content, Google, Meta, forget how did you get the money? One of the challenges women they gain how they will get the payment structure. They are listening now, there are 2 or 3 private sector them. We don't come on board with this digital payments platform. We tie to Visa and MasterCard. I don't want to advertise on the behalf, but they will talk what I say.
False and Piper, I don't know the name now.
People, we are
people.
So we don't come on board. We are getting now for content creators. If you get them accounts and it's easier.
I will charge them for the adverts, no worries.
I'm after me. For them. But on the other angle, the other issue, interestingly, we engage with Google and every player, the struggle gets now addressing system. So when you sign up as part of the partner, they need to send you a unique code when you no forget. They need to send a direct in you host and you need to sign for that. If you don't get that digital addressing system, becomes difficult. But not just alone get that problem. If other countries then they with their own partner, we get that problem and they don't fail for solve them. So this is the conversation we'll get with them now for see which solution they will do for you to get that. Finally, also there are so many countries that really engage on partnerships. They get a list. Then you go through based on when you approach them, and so then you move along that process. Now so then they move along that process. So we don't begin engagement then chief minister set paper engage us at very high level. We sell paper push to see how they will potentially fast track we can that the list of privatization. That's an absolute thing because we say 500,000 jobs. That's an amazing way we will be able and so 500,000 jobs. Starlink, government will not be the mouthpiece for Starlink. Starlink is a private company. In terms of how people in the Starlink is accessible everywhere, by the way. And not limited to nobody. You go online, I believe you follow the procedure, you pay for them, then deliver and use directly, I believe through DHL. So you go online, you pay for which one you want, then tell you everything like that. This is where the digital payment system also important. You pay, you put your address, put out in which service you want, then they deliver the package, can street and use. And also then they work for local partners there. We sometimes you go directly to for access, but again, government no one be mouthpiece for Starlink. Starlink to government, Starlink na private sector, just like how Africell na private, Orange na private, QCell na private. And I'm not one back to the idea say Starlink is another option, just like how we get Boku internet service providers. It's an alternative option for all man who that think say make sense for them financially. Look at what Starlink they provide versus what the other one that they provide. You see what it makes sense for you. That's on that. On the education and use, I think as you mentioned, I think we come to internet and information. We want to yes, we work on educating people, but I think another thing which I was saying the minister really engage on now the issue of disinformation and misinformation on social media. Citizens there will also get for employ some reasoning. Right, so to all information, just because you see on the internet means it's true. We get for be able to employ critical thinking and really question something they will see. And the issue of super advantage, I think say all those see the scheme they also don't come. Me I don't know about no legitimate scheme where you put 100, you get 1 million. So we get for think for the thing. But on real side, these things happen, people take chance and it works, or sometimes it doesn't work. But waiting on the government side, we go able to do. You can't go engage in fraud, then we engage. But what we go do for make sure one set up systems where possible cross check. Because I think the implication was this is a partnership with either Orange, but one set up systems. So we believe anyway, but we set up systems together with NATCA for how people will at least able cross check. If some initiative come, they will go, you cross check whether this is a legitimate partner of their organizations. And that are way to be able to provide that information. They now government to agree because before it's important to note say the mobile money was not regulated by NATCA. Before it was regulated by the bank for selling, but now government will reach an agreement for say NATCA and the bank will co-regulate this space because we can't do the technology. Now NATCA and get that know-how they work and put some of the measures there in place. But before we go to Zulabs, I do want to comment because I do think say that question that's an indictment on government as well. We now one government, this is a continuation of government. So whether you're referring it to the previous minister, we take on board on that day. I do not believe that is so. For say an allegation, say the ministry, they collude with the Zulabs, we cancel. And I hope you may not listen to all this explanation. We'll spend 2 hours with the GI, and there's a easy will break and with the GI on what has been Zulabs' role, then partnership, everything on plate. They don't even tell you, say, I don't speak on them because they will speak on their own behalf. So they don't even go invest in other road where we look to whom we give them. They don't go invest on them. But I go let them, I hope they explain, really give details about how much investments they don't make so far. But on government side, Zulabs, they pay as part of their agreement, and it's the same thing we have with Leon Complex. They don't invest in that fiber backbone who give them. Not all give them, they still get. The part of the agreement say they don't invest for improvement. But on Zulabs and part as well, since I mentioned, Zulabs every single month without fail, they pay government for utilization of that service, that infrastructure they use. Then they pay. Even this ministry, then they support you. That are part of their consistent. If they're not consistent, Ministry of Finance, they look for money. But trust me, Ministry of Finance, they look for money. So they've been consistent and compliant with paying the obligations they were meant to pay. to government. Then go answer on the investment we don't make so far.
Just so you know, we get 5 minutes to wrap up and I have to finish at 4. So I'll give you 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'll try to do it in 2. The importance of their response here is, the gentleman opened the question is, rumor day. And once it becomes a rumor, then already
anytime somebody say according to information.
Exactly. Or then say is a faceless source, like you don't know that talker. Then I first way insulate himself. But let's come to the facts. The minister talked briefly about payments to government. So when government they give this infrastructure to Zulab and say, manage and because you believe you can do it better than if it is under government control, political influence, not the power, like what will happen as Seratel. In addition to that, you say, okay, you can go ahead and even put your own money now. So not for the go dig inside the same government budget for do that additional investment. But moreover, this whole quality of service will improve, the burden on government will go up, will also give you money because of that. Let's add some numbers to this. Contrary to the rumors, government is giving to the government, Zulab is giving to the government $1.8 million every year for that infrastructure. I like to put things in context. The contract with Zulab gets with the government, which is 15 years, if it continue for pay $1.8 million over 15 years, the money they able for replace the same infrastructure. What that means is that money we government will put for bring the AC cable, the Zulab contract, they guarantee say government they get enough money for replace them at the end of the day. So that's the first thing. So financially, government is not even making a loss. The second thing is, waiting at the investment they went to that level. So contrary to the then say rumors, I'll just highlight a few. One, energy. The minister will talk about moving away from fuel petrol generator. Why? Because number one, it costs a lot. Number two, it affects even the environment and the climate change we experience. So if you go now the cable landing station today, 1.5 megawatt generator will be the run. If you put that in fuel, you will know. Today, that cable landing station is running on 100% renewable energy. When they pass by beach road, you go see one place where get Boku panel up, batteries, one whole 40-foot container of batteries. Why? Because it has benefits to the climate, to the environment, and it helps to bring down the cost. So that investment alone costs over $1 million. In addition to many other locations where Zulab don't transition from fossil fuel to renewable energy. So then we also talk about the maintenance. You say, oh, we're not even maintenance the cable. In one of the earlier statements, I talk say, ACE, not a government of Salonge ACE. Government Sierra Leone is 1/16 of ACE. So anything regarding the maintenance of that infrastructure, not a government of Sierra Leone, or for that matter, Zulab they determine for maintenance. It goes through a governance structure which comprise 16 countries. What they do is, then they do the maintenance and then they bill you as a country. And one of the things that will Zulab take over, the debt way government of Salon the owe is for their maintenance and that's why they back. Clear all of them, they like today, not 1 million day where Zulab's owe is. So when we hear these rumors, I want to encourage we for let we do the responsible thing and find out the facts. There's a particular newspaper right now that we're considering because they don't go borderline slanderous on us, and this is not right. This is not a company where they operate internationally. When they do business outside, they do what they call due diligence on you. So for men to get people with either lack of ethics or otherwise, they come and they do that thing where you don't go on the internet, you did it forever. There has to be consequences. So I encourage you all, when you hear these rumors, the least you can do, the ethical thing to do is find out first and let you know. So my brother, I will assume that you want to know more. I will extend the number to you. If you really want to get these details, which I can explain to you for 30 minutes, and we'll not get angry now, please contact me and I will encourage you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. On that note today, I just want to add, as the country Minister of Information and Civic Education, for appeal to me, brother and sister, when a journalist there, the other days on the banking rights. Me now, it's okay, the rights, but me, I'm okay with that. But really, when you go, either something pass small thing for you to destroy somebody else in reputation of a company. We don't say a company and the country in reputation you destroy. And that the most basic cardinal rule of responsible journalism for cross-checking information. For reach out to the person, the principal say, before you publish, or hear the other side, and make sure say the views of the other side reflected. We will put IMC the standard now, and they will for push. And I don't say the government for commerce, but we are working, we're bringing new legislation and all. With commitment to freedom of the press and freedom of information, absolute. But at the same time, we know say freedom of information and freedom of the press also places a duty on you for not go out of your way for destroying other people's reputation and their work. So I know say Zoodlabs and a company will do their own bidding on their own, but William points are a bigger point. Not just on this sector and also just on Zoodlabs, but on other people in this sector. We get the complaints all the time. I was just for tell all thank you for when I come. I will tell me guests is particularly from Zoodlabs, from Leocom, Mr. Mondo, Mr. Ellis, Mr. Benfode as well, for NATSCA, and very outstanding minister.